If Jane Howard would make your way to the front, please. Continue, sir.
Hello, my name is David Jesse. I live on South Boxton Drive in Farragut, Tennessee, and I'm a student at Pellissippi State, graduating at the end of the summer with degrees in engineering and business administration, summa cum laude. What I've listened to here today is a lot of bias. One thing which I think everybody should think about is academic credibility and the accountability which all these sources have. All of us know that regardless of what I'm trying to say, regardless of what I'm trying to prove, I could always find somewhere in print anything said. For instance, the National Enquirer recently said that there were men living on the moon, but I severely doubt that that's happening. So what I've chosen to do is look at what's been said and then say some things in a totally empirical manner with as little persuasion and as little incline on it as I can possibly say. I made calls to the National Institute of Health and the Kinsey Institute, and these are the numbers they've given me. Both sources, which are academically valid, say that 10% of the population is gay, lesbian, or bisexual. They also say that of child molestation, only 2% of those molestations are committed by homosexuals. One does not really need to be a brain surgeon to figure out that with those numbers, you can say homosexuality and homosexuals are 80% less likely to commit child molestation. I contacted the National Association of Psychology. The Association they've said that they have not determined whether homosexuality is hereditary or environment. No one knows what causes it. So I don't believe that any of us could be so conceited as to possibly know what that is caused by. They have also sent me papers stating that there is no higher incidence of homosexuality in the children of homosexuals, and that if children are around homosexuals, they're not necessarily going to turn out gay. Now, in substance, this is a measure that forbids state or local government to do anything gay. And in some ways, this is not as bad as it sounds, and in other ways, it's much worse. So let's start with the good news. First, this new law only reaches conduct by government. Private individuals and corporations are still free to be as pro-gay as they want, and gay businesses will stay open. Gay magazines should still be available on the newsstands, and private companies that have already adopted non-discrimination clauses can keep them. The only entities forbidden to be pro-gay are local governments. Now for the bad news. My reading of the law is that local government may do nothing pro-gay whatsoever, and I'm not sure if the police department can provide us with our needed crowd control for our annual Gay Pride Parade. And any mayoral proclamation of Gay Pride Day, of course, would be certainly run afoul by the new law. Government does not even have the option of remaining neutral on the issue. If this law is passed, you automatically forfeit your right to either be pro or neutral on the issue. There is still enough respect for the state that many people take their moral cues from that. There's a body of evidence that wide support for abortion rights is due in part to the respect that many people still have for the judicial system. As a practical matter, there are many issues on which the government's power is limited to persuasion and setting a good or bad example. The fact is, a lot of people do not think for themselves and are perfectly happy to have the moral cues set for them by society rather than come up with one of their own. As gay people, therefore, we are now in the awkward position of having the state officially pronounce us as unworthy of equal legal protection. And that cannot help but to have a bearing on the public ideas. Second side effect is the impact this will have on the political process. We simply must be able to credibly tell politicians that supporting a gay person or a gay issue will not cost them among voters. When they see a majority of the voters in a relatively liberal state come down as anti-gay, we lose our credibility on the issue. It's that simple. Now for some more good news. If this bill were to be proposed and passed, I really do not expect it to remain on the books for very long. A court challenge has already been brought against a similar law in Colorado, and I'm cautiously optimistic that our side will win. Under the Supremacy Clause of the U.S. Constitution, any state law which violates the U.S. Constitution is considered null and void.
1 minute, sir.
Thank you. Under the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause, government must provide equal protection to all unless it can articulate a rational basis for not doing so. Under a relatively recent Supreme Court case, prejudice is not a rational basis for discriminatory treatment. This is not a case where government has refused to do nice things for a group of people, but a case where it has chosen to do bad things. But before it can do that, it must articulate a rational basis for its conduct, and prejudice will not work. and neither will prejudice dressed in the guise of public morality. I do see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm very comforted by the support that we have here today. And the future is before us, and luckily, both the Constitution and history are on our side.
Thanks, sir.